Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 camp build. So, as we can see, we're down in the mire working on a little fishing cabin, which is entirely fitting with the update. This one's gone through a couple of iterations. It was originally supposed to be portable, and that didn't work out. And then with a few other things I've done this week, I ended up sort of pushing it back and adding some extra little bits beyond even what we can see here. So, quite pleased with how the whole thing came out. And then, tragically, I accidentally moved the thing and lost it. So, it ended quite sadly, but cool build, I think, and this is where it is on the map. Down here at the south end of the lake here in the mire. Obviously, you can see this is quite a popular spot. There's Crevice Dam, there's Braxton's Medical Supplies, and Thunder Mountain up top there. Yeah, it's been popular since the update, this spot. There's been a lot of people here, which is not surprising, really. Very, very pretty area, and obviously one of the better spots with some water. So, we're going to spend quite a long time getting some foundations in here because I'm trying to make sure this place with its angled roof doesn't clip through with the trees. Because it's not the end of the world, but I don't really want the branches clipping through the roof. And I also want it to be, obviously, on the edge of the water. It's a 2x2 foundation. And we're going to be going in on the side of the front right one here. So, yeah, I don't want to sort of paddle my way onto what will be the porch. So I need to make sure it's far enough back to avoid that. But also kind of lines up with the daylight, because I want the sunlight on the front of it off to the east there. And sort of want everything to kind of sit nicely for fishing off the front of as well, because we're going to attach a dock to it. And I think I got there eventually, but it took a while. One thing I didn't do that I kind of wish I had is I had the whole bottom of this, the whole foundation of this, as a single height, because I intended to blueprint it and move it originally. Unfortunately, it got too detailed and the blueprint was just too large, or rather the camp was too large to blueprint. So that didn't happen in the end. And I kind of wish I'd had this back row sort of a little bit higher, maybe even the height of what will be the sort of brick part on the greenhouse window you'll see in a bit. Just so that the whole thing was a little bit more interesting and, it had different heights and was a bit more interesting to look at. It would be something I'd do if I was to do this all again. So I think that is a slightly better position. Move it over a little bit. I've got a bit more room with the build area as well. I'm using the basic wood set, the starting set for this one, because it really blends into the mire with its colour sort of palette. Both the mire in general and, of course, the colour of the wood. There's other wooden options, abandoned mine kit, for example, but this one's just kind of a bit more natural in its tone. So there's the rustic greenhouse wall that I quite like, and you can see the brick along the bottom that I wish I'd kind of lifted the floor up sort of about that much higher. So it was effectively twice as high, but hey, it works. And we're on to the pavilion set for our little porch here. Don't need to use a pavilion set, ordinary porches, or you could use posts from the stair tab, that would work as well. All of that would work for quite a nice set of options for making a porch there if you want to, but I went with a pavilion set. I'm using the abandoned mine kit's roof, however, as this is a corrugated metal one, and it just looks a little bit better. The texture's a bit nicer, a bit more interesting, and a bit more believable for something that's been salvaged as well. So it's one of the reasons I quite like that. Close up these gaps at the top with the top arches, and I've done the ones at the front here, but I'm not entirely happy with those. I like that I was able to decorate them, so that's cool, but I feel like they needed to be some kind of pavilion type thing rather than the wooden one, but no such option exists, so we've got to make do with what we've got. So yeah, a immensely complicated structure here, or not, but small and simple is kind of a little bit more credible for one dude with a hammer and nails in the apocalypse, you know? So I quite like that. So I'm using the Ohio River Adventure dock here. A foundation will do the job just as well. You can just drop it in and then manually move it a bit closer. It works quite nicely. I ended up actually extending this out because you need relatively deep water in order to fish. You need to be able to swim in it, and this short dock end is just not long enough to reach that deep water. Incidentally, if you can't quite reach it, try crouching down or something like that. Your character will stand up when you activate the fishing mechanic anyway, so it works quite nicely. Yeah, in this case, we've decorated it. It looks all right. So it's probably time I decorated the rest of the building, and we'll have a look at the tour in just a sec. Voila! Much decoration, and several sessions later, I filmed this little tour just the other day, really early in the in-game morning, and I like the mist and the light and the kind of glow on it. It's really atmospheric. It's come out quite nicely. It's one of the really good things with the mire. You get some amazing lighting and atmosphere up here. It's definitely a great place to build for that. And also sort of rustic, really improvised camps that look like anybody could knock them together with a hammer and nails. They really blend into the environment, which I do like. So Season 21 is a fishing season, not too surprisingly, it lines up with the update. And there's loads of fishing bits and pieces that I've added to the extra decor as well, just from the first couple of pages now that I've got them. And seeing as I couldn't blueprint the thing, I added some extra bits on the outside, like the brewing station and the what's that pickaxe pilsner thing? It's the fermenting station. That's the word. Nearly got away from me there. As well as some other bits and pieces of decoration as well. And stairs there on the side as well. Got a really cool rowing boat with a merged in skeleton as well. I like that too. But a lot of these bits and pieces just wouldn't work with a blueprint, or wouldn't usually. But in the end, it turned out to be just the sheer complexity of the build and the amount of detail and items was just too much for a blueprint. So there's now a limit to that. So it wasn't long ago, but there is these days. So that was my kind of stumbling block. See my extended dock here, and I've added loads of bits of details. Those nets back there I really like as well. They're a bit of a nightmare to hang sometimes without them floating, but they look really, really cool. A little fishing basket there, or basket of fish. Added a little bit of extra detail to our kind of fishing spot on the end of the dock there. With extending this out, I did add a whole load of extra detail onto the side, obviously, here. Just to kind of make the thing look a little bit more complete, like a lot of stuff's been just dragged back, and this place has been here a while. That wall net as well on the right there, with the other bits of tackle hanging around it, look really cool as well. Lots of little details, lots of stuff, all of the essentials. It's a fully functional camp, so I do like to go down that road as much as I want it to be thematic as well. Here's my little kitchen inside. A little bit of persuasion required to get everything there. The cooking station is in a doorway, for example. Converted the wall to a doorway, put the cooking station in, and then converted it back to hide the pipes. Toxic tinctures chemistry station there. As of the fishing update, we can now put stuff on that workbench, which adds for a little bit of extra decoration, which is always nice. Loads of details on the walls. Tried to keep it mostly somewhat aquatic and fishing themed. Not too much, but you know, there is the rest of the wasteland out there, but I tried to keep that theme going, and I think it's come together okay. Little bits and pieces of decoration around. Yeah, I like it. I've gone for that rustic wallpaper as well, just because it looks a bit more beaten up and kind of gets that fishing cottage in the woods vibe. The table here is supposed to be somewhere to kind of prepare the fish that have been caught. Obviously, we don't have any kind of tabletop decoration to that end, but we may do the frog. I also initially had some issues with making sure it didn't look like the scales might end up all over the bed when you were cleaning the fish. Definitely want to avoid that, I think. It would not be fun. Yeah, quite happy with this. I think it's decently lore-friendly, decent, fits into the environment, looks believable from a you could build it standpoint, and fits the theme and the function. Yeah, definitely keen on how this one came out. And it's got that right kind of Fallout vibe as well for me. Definitely pleased with this one. Well, I hope you folks enjoyed having a little look around this one. I was absolutely heartbroken when I accidentally moved the camp and then couldn't rebuild it without doing the whole thing over again, but at least we'll have this for posterity. If you did like the video, you know where the buttons are, like, subs, notification bell, all that good stuff I very much appreciate. Social media links in the description, channel memberships down below if you want to support the channel, I definitely appreciate that. And yeah, join us for live streams too. We're playing, of course, Fallout 76, we've got Atomfall and Oblivion Remastered and Tainted Grail all on the go at once at the moment, so lots to watch if you're interested. And of course, a ton of fishing related videos recently, so dive into those if we get a chance as well. For now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.